next community conversation, we are joined by Jordan Taylor, a Bridge Progressive Arts Initiative board member. He's sitting down with Steve. Hey, you two.
All right, thanks, Casey. Jordan, we talked about this. All this stuff just bloomed around me a little bit last week, but let's get specific now and talk about Steve Keene, the artist behind some of the work, which we will take a look at, obviously, and I'm going to take a wild guess that that's some of it. Let's talk about Steve Keene. Some have called him the assembly line Picasso. How does that name come about?
It's a great name, and I think a lot of people like to focus on the Picasso because that's the big name, but I always like to kind of point out to people that these are pretty pop images. They're not modernist, and I like to really focus on actually the assembly line part, which is the assembly line more than anything. What it did is it allowed everyday workers to be car owners, and that's what I love about Steve Keene. It makes everybody able to be an art collector, and it is a rare moment where a community gets to kind of highlight one of its great cultural assets, and then we can have our own community take contents of their living rooms and make it the work of art. And so I think in the pandemic, we've been in our own houses and lives enough, getting some of those out of there and into the public. And I just love the idea of a community curated exhibit. Shows our hometown cares.
Here, let me grab that from you.
Please.
So we can take a look at piece number 2.
All right. Whoop. And this is just one of about 300,000 works of art that he has either given away or sold very cheaply. I think I bought this one as a set for $40 or so. And so I think that is kind of a part of the appeal of Steve Keene, is it really does democratize like art owning. And it's this kind of secret thing whenever you go somewhere and you see a Steve Keene on the wall, you know they have a Charlottesville connection.
What is the relationship between Keene and Charlottesville?
It goes all the way back to the 90s. He was a WTJU DJ, as I am too, as many people who are contributing to the exhibit. And he used to have regular shows and got part of what was a very kind of vibrant indie rock culture and college radio rock in the 90s. Dave Matthews is a big name that comes out of here, but for a lot of people within that world, Pavement, Silver Jews, and he did some of their cover art, and it was closely associated with them. And so I think that is kind of part of the kind of street cred of Charlottesville of the 90s, was something with Steve Keene, and he's still out there working. Dave Berman, who passed away last year and has been close to the station too, is his band Purple Mountains. Is just one that kind of even in Dave Berman's life, Steve Keene is still coming back and renewing those ties to Charlottesville.
Oh, that's great. This community does have a way of kind of pulling people back, doesn't it?
With the velvet rut. We can't help ourselves.
How can people get involved with this?
That is the best part. There have been a number of drop-off days, but right now I think the best thing to do is to go to the Bridge PAI website, and you can email directly there. There's a whole place for information to kind of go ahead and just turn them over. And I think the best way to also get involved is just come to the opening, November 5th. That we'll be able to see like many of the great Steve Keenes. I know there's some real rare and strange ones out there that we'll be able to see, and you should come to the opening.
Not like there's a lack of options to choose from.
300,000, collect them all. That's what I said.
Jordan, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Casey?
Appreciate it.